Good morning, good evening, and welcome to this week's chat. I want to run over how it is that we organize our shows, how it is that you sit down and you plan them and make sure that they run to how you want. And one of the ways that we can do that is working with show notes or a run of show. And I want to discuss the differences because they're actually not the same thing. I see these things like show flows and show notes and run of show, and they all seem to be interchanged, but they actually mean different things. Now, I'm a little breathy. Breathy is probably the word. A, my asthma's playing up a little bit. B, I went to take a sip of my water because I thought it was so organized and it was empty, so I had to run out and do that. So good morning to everybody in the chat. Livestream Consultants was in early today. Let's rock today's stream, Chantelle. I hope we do. It's kind of the plan. Leanne is here today. Good morning, Chantelle. Hello, live chatters. I've got my coffee and good listening ears are ready. Learn live streaming with John Lacey is here, and SMA Sky is jumping in. I know that, for some of us, it's still Sunday. Some of it's Monday in Australia. This is the day that most people go back to work after Christmas, is Monday after the New Year's. So lots of people are back at work today. My husband's back at work today. My daughter is homesick, unfortunately, but everyone is back to work now. All systems go. So let me know in the chat, do you use some way to organize your live streams before they get started? So I'm going to run through what I do and how I do it. And I just want to preface this with, this is just one way. Okay, you find the way that works for you and you do that, all right? This just happens to be the way that works for me, all right? So there's no, right or wrong here. Now, you could be like a total fly by the seats of the pants person and have nothing, right? And just build it out as you go, have not a thing. For me personally, I like to jot down a few notes, a few talking points, kind of work out, do I want to build any extra scenes? Do I need any extra graphical assets? And this is one of the main reasons why I like to have my show notes. Now, I use show notes rather than the run of show. So let's have a quick discussion about the difference between those two. Now, show flow is kind of like, I personally think whenever I see someone talking about a show flow, they're talking about a show notes. But because I've never seen someone's show flow be the full technical workup, but I could be wrong. It could, it could be one of those things where I've just gotten it confused because that, let's be honest, that does happen. But okay, so a run of show. This is the full minute by minute, depending on the show. It can even be second by second. I have no idea what that noise was. The cats are having a fight. That's what the noise is. So this is the minute by minute run of the show. This is the script, the talking points, the change to this scene now, change to this scene now, bring up this overlay. This is every single step. Run of shows are also used for like events and things like that. So they are used for the every second down to the last minute planning, right? Whereas your show notes are more broad. They generally be your talking points, your key points that you want to make, and maybe, a general summary just to kind of keep you on track. Now, this is where I'm a show notes person. Okay, so if you are, it's very, very, they're very different. Okay, so they are two very different things, and the terms seem to be used interchangeably, which is not technically correct. Kind of like people who are like talking about sound treating a room and they call it soundproofing, and it's just one of those things, right? But if we understand as streamers, if we're understanding the correct terminology of what we mean, and I always double check. So if someone's like, hey, can you do a run of show for this? I'm like, okay, do you want a run of show or do you want show notes? Okay, so show notes are also something that people, especially podcasters, talk about adding for people to read. Like, oh, that link is in the show notes. And so they'll actually put that in as like a description. So here on YouTube, it's more the description. Over on like podcast listening kinds of platforms, they tend to call the description show notes. So you can go in and you can grab any links. So is it something public that you want to share? So there's a lot of different ways to talk about it, and I'm seeing some chatter in here. Um, John saying the struggle back to work is real. I believe you, John. I believe you. Learn live streaming with John says, generally I have a Google Doc, a welcome, 4 segments around this week's topic, and a goodbye. So you've already got your plan in place and you just fill it out with a bit more detail. And sometimes I play promo videos between the segments. Excellent. So, and you've already got those lined up. You know what they are. So this is the thing. When you're creating this information, whether you do the show notes, whether you do the run of show, whether you make it a Google Doc or just, I tend to scratch it out and then fill it out in a Google Doc, right? So that if something happens, I've got 2 copies of it. I don't always. I don't always, but and only if it's just me. Now, if it is more than one person, I will have the detail out for that person to actually, so they can see what's going on as well. So it's not just for you. It is so that your guest or so that the person you're running the stream for, they have confidence that they're going to get covered what they want to get covered. Live stream consultant says show notes of what you want to cover. A run of show is when you want to cover what you want to cover. Yeah, that's right. Sort of. Yeah. It's the detailed out of how to make it that you are covering it. Doug Houston is in the house. Good morning, Doug. How are you going? Lee is here as well. Anfield Road Layout. Good to see you. John says, I'm a creature of habit, but I think giving your show a sense of structure is super helpful. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. You and I agree on a lot of stuff, I've noticed, John. I personally like to have a little bit of structure. Now, obviously, those of you that have seen this live stream before, you know we can throw that out the window and just do whatever, right? It happens. Let's be honest. It happens, right? I get sidetracked by the shiny thing in the chat. But do you know what? I also know that that's what's going to happen, or that's a possibility of what's going to happen. So I totally understand that that's going to be part of it, because that's what this show is about. That's what this live stream is for. This live stream is for me to answer your questions in the chat. So if I don't answer the questions, kind of, why am I doing it as a live stream? That's how I see it. But I also feel that way about other people's live streams. They'll be like, let's run a live stream and then ignore the chat. And I sort of sit there thinking, did I need to be here for this? Could I have just watched the replay? Sure, I could have, because it's not made for live. It's made for a replay. So there's ways to do both, right? There's ways to do both. Frankie over 50, it's great to see you. It's great to see you. Tech for Your Needs. Hello, folks. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, Tech for Your Needs, and for everybody who is watching as well, whether you're live or on a replay. So I suppose I should clarify this. I know the school of thought is make it for the replay. Make it for the replay. I don't agree with that at all. I think make it replayable, sure, but I make it for those of you that turn up live. So if you are here live and you ask your question, I will try to answer your question live, right? If you are in the replay and you pop your question into the chat, into the comment area, I'll try and answer your question in the comment area. But it's not that I will ignore you if you're on the replay. No, I won't. Oh my goodness. I know time zones exist and previous commitments, or you just didn't even know it happened. I know this stuff happens. I'm not penalizing anybody. But what I'm saying is those of you that actually get in here live and get your questions into the chat, you will be prioritized. It's that simple. Amazing Yacht Destinations. Good morning. It's so good to see you. Enfield says, I started my live stream back up and I'm happy with the new setup that I've got now. That is so good. I'm so glad. So sometimes, like for me, I personally love to have like a static setup. I love to know that this is a setup I've got. It's my little comfort zone. And while not everybody gets to have that, and I understand that as well, Or sometimes it doesn't suit your content, or there's so many reasons. Finding a way for you to be happy with your setup actually comes through in your production. So if you are like annoyed at like a glitchy thing, I mean, you guys have seen it. Like I'll be like, this isn't working and it's bugging me so much. So you know, you know, right? And I may be able to. How do I put this? I may be able to close my mouth and not do the talking, but I have what we call a 5-acre face, where you can see my it's like a 5-acre voice, which is where someone, when they're talking, can be heard across a 5-acre paddock. My face is very expressive, so when I'm frustrated, I may be able to be like, but really my face is like a, So I know this about myself, and I don't play poker. Livestream Consultant says, depending on your stream format, a consistent turn run of show can become a style that your audience can come to expect and to look forward to. Absolutely. Absolutely they can. Because the run of show doesn't just help you. The run of show helps your audience. They understand, well, it helps you to help your audience, right? So having a run of show, having something that you can keep to, and obviously if you can keep to it better than I can, you are doing great. Because I'm already off. But having it and keeping to it really does create clarity for your audience. And at the end of the day, that's what we really want, isn't it? Like, let me know in the chat, is your goal to create clarity for your audience around whatever your content is around? Doug says, I like me a battle station. Me too. I'm like, I have mission control. So yeah. Good morning, Geology Dude. Great to see you. Tech for Your Needs says, at that point, you may as well do a premiere, right? Right? If you are not going to interact, actually, do you know what? If you're not going to interact with your chat, don't even do a premiere. Seriously. Like, if you have no intention of interacting with a live chat audience, put it up as a VOD. Don't bother with a premiere. If you're not going to show up, don't bother with a premiere. That is such a pet peeve of mine. Sorry, I've just pulled out the soapbox. If you are running a premiere, you have to be in the chat and you have to be active. Or what is the point? Right? And I get so frustrated by people who just run premieres and aren't there. And they're like, oh, well, I ran it at a time where I was asleep. Then run it at a time when you're awake. So yeah, sorry. I'll just push that one. I'll push that soapbox back out of the way. That is totally off topic. Enfield says, I just want one more webcam. I just ordered it and have 6 webcams for my streams. That's great. That's great. What have I got? I've got this camera. I have a camera up here for my Fiberfix streams. I don't tend to use them so much here. And I do have a second camera over here that I sometimes use as well. I don't always use it. Coastal Diva says, I see a lot of premieres run that way. What is the benefit to them when they do that? There's none. There's no benefit. Like, they think it just builds some hype around their video, but it actually just annoys the audience, right? And especially if it's a premiere on like a 5-minute video. So, if you're having a premiere, it needs to be a special video, something awesome, something that you really want to draw attention to. And it needs to be a decent length video, and you need to be, and someone needs, like, the streamer, well, not the streamer, but the creator needs to be in the chat. It's so frustrating. Oh, no, BMAC on the screen. Oh, goodness me. Where did I put that? There it is. Because I have to take it off for my starting soon screen. But I do have it pinned in the comments. I'm just saying, it is pinned. And Doug has just dropped the BMAC. Thank you. Doug says they think they might get more views. Another growth hack. Another fake growth hack, maybe we should say. Because let's just upset people. I am the princess. Live stream the chat commands are not working yet. No, they're working. I tested. BMAC worked this morning. BMAC is a creator name. I don't know that creator. BMAC is Buy Me a Coffee. So yeah. Oh gosh. YouTube premieres on easier modes. Oh. If you want the list of commands, it's exclamation list, just so you know. Here we go. Easy mode. Oh my god. It's so the thing at the moment, isn't it? So yeah, it is. It's so the thing. All right. I'm gonna hydrate. I know no one's told me to yet, but I'm totally going to. I've got my coffee, I've got tea, I have water now. I turned out I didn't. I had the water bottle, it was just empty. But making sure that you have your run of stream or run of show or show notes, whatever it is that you need. So let me know in the chat, what do you use? Personally, I use show notes. Unless I am doing something very specific and I need more detail. If I've sat down and decided to run, like when I ran the stream about StreamYard and I wanted all those, all the extra assets that I brought in, all the graphics, all of the, when I brought in all those extra images of the pricing structures, things like that, I wanted to not miss any. So I created very specific notes for that particular show. But usually for this show, because it is less formulaic, less, what's the word? I don't even know. I want to answer your question, so I need to allow space for that, right? So I can't fill out every minute with other content. I need to allow space for you. Larry has bought me 3 coffees.
Coffee.
Larry, thank you so much. I love that your Tim Tam order has arrived. It is so cool, and thank you so much for always being so supportive. I really appreciate it. I realized the other day that when Larry did the crazy the overwhelming buy me a coffee the other week, I probably didn't, jump up and down as much as I should have, honestly, because I was shocked is probably the best way to write it, because I knew that we were organized. I'd sent something to Larry and he was sending some money back for it, right? It's not what I was expecting. I was not expecting that many coffees at all. And it wasn't till after the stream that I sat down and worked out what had happened, and I was just gobsmacked. And Larry wouldn't let me send any of it back. So he's so generous. He's so generous. Let's see here. John says, I haven't done it for a while, but I used to have colored tabs on screen with the topics so people knew what we had spoken about and where we were headed. That's really awesome, because you've got to, especially if you have guests, you need to make it so they can follow along. So this would be useless if I needed to share it with guests, which is why I also have the Google document, so that you can also have that as well. Hang on a second. I'm going to start doing premiere videos on my channel as well this year. My piece of advice to you is don't do too many. Don't make every video a premiere. Not every video is premiere worthy. Not every movie is premiere worthy. Well, no, they're not. Some go straight to video. Do you know what I mean? Think of it in that regard. Think of it in that regard. Not every movie is premiere worthy. Cookies, biscuits, Tim Tams. Yeah, we call them biscuits here. We don't really do cookies. Although I have noticed some brands are calling their biscuits cookies now in Australia. Doug says, I typically only plan my content and freestyle the rest. Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. I have the points I want to get across, and then I freestyle the rest. Or seat of the pants it, as I like to call it. I'm a seat of the pants kind of person. I'm like, hold on, we're going live. John says, stop talking about Tim Tams. I can't eat sugar or carbs. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that, John. So yeah, so having a run of show is super useful, but why is a run of show super useful? And I know we've touched on it, but one of the things that I really, and this is why I do them for myself, even though this is a really relaxed and less structured stream, I still write notes. I still think about what it is we're going to talk about, because I want to sit down and double check all of my scenes, all of my layouts. Everything is going to be relevant. Do I need something different for today's stream? Do I need to include something else? So one of the things that I did today, which I didn't know if I was going to use or not, but what I wanted to do was be able to show you. But because I knew I was going to be talking about some things here, I wanted to be able to have a screen share available. And it's the screen share of some of my show notes. And so having, oh, and look at this, you know, I want to make it all good, but then I didn't put my face in the center of the circle. It's because I move around in my chair. Ha ha ha. She says, trying to get back in the middle again. So being able to sit down and go, okay, this is the thing. Now, I actually set up a tab in my browser. I use the Arc extension, the Arc browser. It's available on Windows. It's available on Mac. It was available on Mac first. But one of the things I love now, I am just going to drop down the Buy Me a Coffee widget just for a second, is I can actually have it open, and I can have its own little tab here down the bottom. Or is it down the bottom here? I don't know if it's working. Anyway, down this section, right down the bottom left here, and I can choose, and I've created well, at the top right here, I've called it screen share. So I don't have any of my usual tabs in there. I've got other tabs open. I've got all my YouTube tabs open. I've got everything else, but that is on a separate workplace station. Like there's a workplace. So there's all these separate windows, and I have 6 of them. So you can see a few of them down the bottom there. So I like to have my, I like to have it here so I don't accidentally show any background information I don't want to show. And being able to have this ready and have this available, already set up, where I'll just close today's notes and this will be totally empty. There'll be nothing else in there. But if I've got 5 or 6 different things that I want to share in today's stream, I'll have them all there. Anything I'm willing to share on screen. I'll make sure I'm already logged into things. I don't need to add passwords, so that I can just have my screen share open. But because I knew today I wanted to show this screen share, I had it set up and ready. Okay, so it was part of what I wanted to do. So being able to plan these things, knowing that you have it ready to go, is a big part of what we're doing here. Let me see here. John says, whether it's a tech issue or a shiny cat distraction, show notes can help you get back onto what you're going to do. Absolutely. Absolutely they can. We need a judge something, or a queen sitting on the throne. Isn't that what the princess is for? Like, I am a princess? I don't know. Maybe we're looking at the princess one a bit differently. I don't know. John says, I actually have a Google document table with 3 columns, the segments, the topics, and the technical. So yeah, you're definitely running more of a run of show rather than show notes. So you definitely need all that additional detail. For me, I need it in a chronological order. There you go. I'm the princess. That's right. And you definitely need it in a more chronological order. So I like to have mine down. But this is the thing, it's your document, and you need to make it in whatever way it is that works for you, right? This is your document. So for me, I need chronological, but I'm not doing a technical show notes either. I'm just doing, I'm not doing a technical run of show. I'm just doing show notes. The technical run of show I still run it in chronological order, but I have multiple things because sometimes more than one thing has to happen at the same time. So we all have different ways to do it. John says, and if I mention a specific source, I can have them mix it up, chatbot, share the link in the chat, etc. That's right. So depending on how you do it, sorry, this is very white off to my side, so I'm just gonna change that. You can absolutely pre-plan things. Pre-plan? Pre-plan, that's a new word. Pre-plan. So having it, so I add in extra GIFs. So over Christmas, I had extra GIFs in our list. And so you can have, you can add in extra links, and whether you add them in or a bot adds them in, or you've had a chat with a mod beforehand and a mod has added them in, making it so that you already know I'm going to be discussing this thing today. I want to make sure that I have a link. So like, we've got the Buy Me a Coffee. I want to make sure that Buy Me a Coffee link is there. I want to make sure the Buy Me a Coffee overlay is on. Turn it on. Don't click it twice. So, making sure that you've got everything set up that you want, writing it down, typing it out, having it listed out, making it so that everything is ready, so that you know what you want to talk about. So, but like in saying that, a question may come up a little bit left of field of topic, and I'm going to need a link. I'm either going to have to go hunting for that, or hope that, Doug or one of my mods can deal with it. I didn't realize Doug was, I thought Doug was on the bus. Turns out he's not, he's home, so he doesn't miss the streams. So that's pretty cool. Livestream consultant says, I use a small handful of scenes that I always use. I create additional scenes according to the subject matter and place them on a dedicated Stream Deck page for that stream. Yeah, absolutely. I have separate folders for separate streams because they're set out differently. On my Stream Deck, I have separate folders for the separate tasks that I'm running. So if I am moderating, it's different than when I'm running a live stream. And then each of my live streams are different. So I don't have Hype Train set up for my Fiberific stuff. So, whereas you do. What's this one here? I don't know why that didn't bring up the actual... Oh, I know why it didn't bring it up, because I'm on the wrong screen. I'm like, what is that button for? That's for the watch time goal. So there we go. There we go. Watch time goal. I had to have a screen share on a specific screen. So we're creeping up. But I've got that set up, and I sat down today and made sure that because it's a little screen share that's built inside of, like if I turn the screen share off, just the screen share, there's like, hello, there's a gap, right? So that I can just make sure it lines up and does it all properly. And I don't have to like type anything in or do any extra graphics. I'm just screen sharing what's coming over from YouTube because I'm lazy. I could make a beautiful graphic, but I don't want to. I'd have to make one every week. Do I want to do that? Probably not. But if you were a graphics person and you love making graphics, then you wouldn't mess around with lining up a screen share. You would just make the graphic. So, these are the things that we do. Esme Sky said, oof, it bothers me when people share their entire desktop or their entire browser window. I don't know what to do. I don't want to know what people have on their bookmark bar. Right? And some of my depending on the browser that I'm in, I may have in my bookmark bar, I've got some information in there about, different things that are or are not relevant to this. Like there's lots of yarn crafting things, there's supplies for my Fiberific business, all this sort of stuff. None of that's relevant. You don't need to see that. So why do I need to make that? Let's have a look. Lee's off. Bye, Lee. Have great stream. Going to see you on the next one. Night all. Thanks for all the tips. I do watch back the replay of what I've missed. That is awesome. Thanks so much. Chantelle doesn't need a chat bot. She's got a Doug. I'm really, really lucky to have an awesome moderator like Doug and like Leanne as well, who is floating around as well. Andrew Can is in the house. Hello, Andrew. Welcome. Welcome to today's chat. Content laws. Yes, I do need some content laws. And I understand it is my homework. I am a member of Andrew Can's channel membership, and he has, like, seriously, if you want a good value channel membership, go and check that one out. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. What you get monthly from Andrew Can is crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. So go and check it out. But we get homework each fortnight when we have our call, and Andrew's reminding me of my homework. I've got it. And the thing is, I do have creator laws. I just haven't articulated them into a document, right? Judge Chantelle, that's exactly right. So yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with how my watch hours are going right now, and I really appreciate you for actually watching, and because I can't change that, only you can change that. So that is champion. All right, because Andrew's here, I'm hydrating with coffee. That wasn't snarky, right? Yes, not bibble. Exactly. Bring it. Okay, so when it comes to creating our run of shows, even as John said, he has his set out differently. There are so many templates out there that you can use if you want to use a template. And if you need one, like seriously, let me know, and I could even put one together for you. But I personally just use a Google Doc for 95% of my run of shows, or they're not run of shows, they're show notes. For my show notes, I just use a Google Doc, or I use a pen and paper. Because it's the Google Docs are so white. Like, is there a way? Let me know in the chat. Is there a way for me to dark mode my Google Docs? Because that really ticks me off. I'm actually just clicking it and double checking to just see if there's something I've just missed. Settings? No, I don't know. Let me know, because see how like it's so bright and white and I don't like it, right? I'm a dark mode girl, and I'm like, oh, look, dark mode's an option. Boom, choose dark mode every time. Also, I'm not talking about, I don't want a browser extension that dark modes things. I don't like those browser extensions because they screw up the other stuff that dark modes. So I want to know if there's just a straight up dark mode page. You can change the page color of a Google Doc. Can you do that as a, like as a global thing? Andrew says you can change it to dark mode. How do I do that? How do I change it to dark mode? I'm here. I'm in the screen. Tell me how to do it. I want to make it dark. Make it dark mode. Help. File. I'm going to see if there's a file settings. No, the language. Details. Settings, light mode, off. Okay, let me look. Settings. I don't have that. So is it file settings or is it, I don't know. Andrew, do I click file then settings? Because file then settings, I don't actually have a file then settings actually. Where do I click settings? I don't know what I'm doing. Is it obvious? Is it obvious that I have no idea what I'm doing? Click the three dots. Where? Hang on, I'm going to screen share. Screen share so you guys know what I'm looking at. All right. Oh, turn off my amazing buy me a coffee reminder. Okay. Which three dots? It's in the page format. File. On the top right where I am. Okay, top right over here. Right's under my face. SMA Sky is looking and he doesn't see it either. Thank you, SMA Sky. I'm so glad it's not just me going and get that out of the way. All right. No, that's not it. That three dots there just gives me reload. And if I just make my toggle wider, the three dots goes away. So that three dots is not it. Andrew says I can't see what you see. Okay, so you're seeing something different. Well, I know it's doable. So I will look. John says, I think there's dark mode options for Android and iOS apps, but not sure about browsers. Yeah. Thank you, Russell. Yes. I'll have to go and have a look. In the meantime, move away from my screen share because it's too bright in the sides of my eyes. Okay. Andrew says, let me send via Discord when I'm home. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that very much. Alrighty. Yeah, my Android. See, yeah, because Android we can just set to dark mode all the things. So I'll do that. My husband's like, everything's so dark. I'm like, yes, it is. Hand me back my phone and use your own. You guys are champions for hunting this down for me. All right. So obviously, that's not in my show notes. That is not something that I was looking at. It was just like, that's an add-on. That's a bonus. That's something extra. and allowing for those sorts of things within your stream, especially when you're live streaming, I personally think is a good idea. No, I mean, not quite to that extent of I've no idea what I'm doing kind of thing, but allowing time, allowing Q&A, allowing interaction, I think is super important to make sure that we're impacting the people in our chats. Andrew's sending through some stuff here. Let me have a look. So settings under appearance and then dark. Okay, I don't have settings. When I click file, I don't get the option for settings. I get details, language, page setup, print, version history, make available offline. I actually don't have a settings. I'm just checking through the other menus. I also don't have 3 dots. Oh, under Google Drive, not Docs, autocorrect. Okay, let me go to Google Drive. I can't do that from here. I'm going to have a play with that later, but I appreciate that, and I will check. I will check it out because I would very much like to make all of those dark. All of them. Okay. Yeah, I don't do the browser extension that makes dark mode because every time I've used it, it's gone on other things, and I haven't had fun with it. So I don't do the Google extensions for dark modes. I've used 2 or 3 different ones, and they all had a similar problem, which is anything that was already dark mode, it tried to do something to it, and it went janky. John Lacey says I changed the Google Drive to dark mode, but the docs is still bright. Okay. All right. This sounds like an issue we're all going to have to play with. Amazing Your Destination says, also, after Honey, I don't trust browser extensions. Do you know what? I didn't trust browser extensions before Honey. I only have, like, how many browser extensions do I have enabled right now? Extensions. I have 1Password, my password manager. Social Stream Ninja, which I will then turn off after I'm streaming, and Tube Spanner, which I toggle off and on depending on what I'm doing. And they are my browser extensions that I have. Let me just see if I think I've got a couple more that I've currently got toggled off. Creative Fuel I currently have toggled off. Keywords Everywhere I currently have toggled off, and Loom I have toggled off. So they are the extent of, and they are all things that I trust. Let's have a look here. Yeah, that's right. And it's not all the extensions. And you're right, Andrew. It isn't all of the extensions. Some extensions are phenomenal. Some extensions are exactly what they say they are, and that they are just great add-ons and tools that we can use. But unfortunately, some make it hard to trust. John says, you can also now throw your show notes into the Elgato prompter and that will make them dark with, yeah, absolutely. I'm loving the Elgato prompter so much. so much. Let's have a look. Andrew says, I'm very biased by the version of a company that doesn't exist anymore. Oh dear. I only have 2 Crown browser extensions and I don't even trust those 2. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that a lot. But yeah, it does. It makes it hard. It makes it hard, you know, to be able to, like, the whole honey thing is sad, right? And why is it sad? Because so many people are just annoyed by it, right? But I find that it's really sad because these creators were offered sponsorship deals with what appeared to be a really good product. It was a win-win, right? Because they got a sponsorship deal and it was a bonus and it was a good tool for their community to save them some money, right? And that was what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a win-win. And isn't that our goal? Whenever we find a sponsorship or an affiliate or something, it's supposed to be a win-win-win, right? It's supposed to be a win for us as the creator, bring us some income, whether it's a sponsorship or the affiliate. It's supposed to be a win for your audience because you're suggesting something that will impact them positively. And it's supposed to be a win for the company that's behind it, right? It's not supposed to only be a win for the company. And that's what honey turned into. It became only a win for them because they took money out of creators' mouths and then they also didn't deliver on their promise to the audience. So I think that's just really sad. I think it's really sad. John says, terrible actors, people with bad intentions, not insert name of famous actor here, are everywhere though. They are. They are. But unfortunately, check this out. I don't know if can I show this to you. I've just watched Louis. He's just done something and he's just made part of his bed fall on top of him. So good job, Lou. Well done. I'm not quite sure what you did to make that happen. Luckily, it's just light foam and he could get out from under it if it really bothered him. It's actually lighter than a blanket. So he could get out if he wanted. Good job, Lou. Because I just heard the noise and I've looked down and it's just gone and landed on him. But there really are. So it does make it hard. It does make it hard to trust. So, you know, when us as creators are looking at potential sponsors or potential affiliates, this has just created a whole new level of distrust because we already have to be careful of how we're agreeing to it because they may not even be real and they could be sending us a PDF that's just going to scrape all our session cookies and you know, just totally take our channels. Now even those that are legitimate are legitimately bad. And it's just going to make it harder for creators to find sponsorship deals that they can trust. Yeah, that's right. They weren't even passing on the best offers to consumers. Like their whole big thing for the audience was that we will find you the best discount codes on the internet. And it was proven in that Mega Labs video that if you just Googled it, you got better discounts. So it's not even worth it for the end user to have it. Like not only were they stealing affiliate income from people, they were making it so the audience weren't actually getting the best deal. And then we've got a couple more parts of this to come. And so I'm just like, I'm seriously thinking that it's going to be even bad for the companies that signed up to have honey. So, yeah. Home Rapid Repair says, I've heard that affiliate link switching is against terms of service for Google, but honey is still in the App Store. Yeah, I think it's going to. I think there's going to be some stuff. I think that honey is going to get hit with some things as well, because I personally think they're also going against terms of service against Amazon. I mentioned it in Doug's stream this week. I personally think that what they're doing, like us as creators, we know that if we put an Amazon affiliate into our description, we have to have the Amazon specific verbiage of, you know, this is an affiliate link. I will get commission if you use this link. And we have to have that above the link. We have to make it perfectly clear that if you click this, I will get commission, not someone will get commission. So I personally think they've gone against Amazon's terms of service, because they're in no way on that screen before you click any button does it say that by clicking this you will be giving them the commission. So I don't know. I think there's a lot. Yeah, he installed the Google Docs dark mode extension, but and is that Google Docs dark mode extension, is that created by Google or is that someone else? Like, I don't know. SMA Sky says probably will take some time to remove it, but you'd think violating terms of service would nullify any legal things that stops them from just removing it. I don't know. See, I don't understand all of it. I don't understand a lot of it, you know. But you know, Amazon's really specific, and if they find people who do it, they just boot people out for random reasons. And these guys are definitely getting a lot of affiliate commission they don't deserve. Andrew says, I'm just glad I'm not working in an extension. Absolutely. Oh, when I bought your live back up, you're in dark mode too. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I thought those extensions dark moded everything that was on screen. I don't know. I thought that was the door, but it was not the door. Smarter minds than me will deal with honey, is all I can say. But I really do think that companies like Amazon and a lot of the other stores that are involved, I think they will have something to say as well. Doug says, I stopped most YouTube extensions a while ago. It just got too cluttered. Yeah, I stopped some of the Google extensions. I had a few extras, but I turned them off because they weren't playing nicely together, and it was creating glitches and stuff. So, you know, it was frustrating. So I turned a lot of them off and I just toggle them on when I need them. It was supposed to be specific to Google Docs, but lol, not so. Not so. But yeah, it's an interesting time to be a creator. It's a good time to be a creator. Like, don't get me wrong, we've got some negative stuff going on. But in reality, we've always had some negative stuff. Like, who was a YouTube creator when Adpocalypse 1 came around? Like, I was earning some little bits of income here and there. I was still new. And then all of a sudden booted because I couldn't be in the YPP anymore because I had to get my other channel up to the standard that they had set. And it was an awful time to be a creator, especially if you had a team and your whole income was dependent on AdSense. Andrew was here for that. Yeah, it was not a great time. And then there was Adpocalypse 2 that happened. And you know, then there's always something, right? There's always something that's going to happen that's going to be a little bit of a gut punch for creators, right? So we just need to like work our abs so the gut punches don't hurt us so much. And it's just one of these things of creating alternative sources of income, having an alternative way. So if you go to my website, there is a way for you to join my email list. So if something happens, I can send an email out and go, hey, if my channel is deleted, I can still talk to you, because here on YouTube, there is no way for me to contact subscribers if something happens to my channel. Short of unless it's not deleted, but like short of a community post or a video, there is no way for me to contact all of you. So having you on the email list is really important. So it's if you go to my website and it's just in any of the footer bars, I should have a link directly to that. I should have thought about that and had it ready in the show notes. Didn't. So create your email list. And even if you don't use it, even if you don't bombard people with regular emails, and you don't have to, but knowing that your stalwarts, that your regular viewers, your foundational people, those of you that you are your supports, which I consider you, right? Having you on my email list means that if something happens, I can email you directly. Doug remembers the Adpocalypse as well, because there was Adpocalypse 1 and Adpocalypse 2, and then there was the Copocalypse and all these sorts of things. So life keeps lifing even if you're not a creator. That is true. That is true. Life keeps lifing, full stop. It's a good reason to have an easy find presence on several platforms. Absolutely. Like I personally love social media, and I know not everybody does, right? I love social media. I am active on an active viewer, I should say, on Instagram and Threads. I don't tend to post too much on either of those, but I'm an active viewer on both. I am active on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Facebook, and on YouTube. And I make sure that I'm contactable somehow, right? But I want to be able to contact you somehow. So that's the way to do that. SMA Sky says, I've got Patreon, BMAC, and Spreadshop as income sources. Got my first Patreon last month. Woohoo! Congratulations. Where's my hype button? I want my hype button for that. Bring it on. But also got X, Facebook, Insta, and a Discord. None of them are all that active though. But you're set up and you're ready to go, honestly. You're set up and ready to go. I don't have a Discord for this content. I have a Discord for Fiberific. So if you're into yarn craft, you can come and hang out. But if you're not, you're really not going to enjoy your time there. Let's be really honest. Like, let's just be really honest here. For me, my creator Discord is the Can Do community. That's my first stop every time. If I want an open like an open source, so not behind a paid membership, because I have a couple of those too. But the open source where everyone can jump in is the Can Do creator community. So you absolutely need to check that up. Livestream Consultant says, I've just sent you an IG message with how to dark mode on Google Docs. Thank you, Livestream Consultants. You're a champion. Oh yeah, I've got Threads too. Yep. All right, I just signed up to your email list. Now I don't bombard people from there. Well, not yet. I might do down the track, but right now I don't. It is just there for just in case. It's a backup. And you know how I feel about backups. I love backups, and I love backups for my backups. Because things happen. That's right. Can do. If Andrew's here, I would love it if he could drop it. What's the link for the Discord for Can Do? I know that there's he's got a short link for it. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I really can't. Because, you know, I can't. Is it like, not like just like KDCC. Might be KDCC.social. Let me look. Nope. It doesn't appear to be that. I mean, it is. Copy link. Copy the link. There we go. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try again. It gave me the full Discord link. There you go. You might have to cut and paste that. Because it does bring up the server and all the server information, but it doesn't bring it up as a clickable link. There's got to be a way, right? Andrew wouldn't do that to us. He wouldn't give us a link that we can't use. SMA Sky says, I don't get on Discord as much as I'd like, but it can be a lot of fun and a lot of good stuff on Can Do. I agree. If you are a creator and you need input, you want to chat with other creators, you've got a question, or you want to answer some questions, like KDCC is great, honestly. and it's a happy place. It's well moderated and it's a happy place. Not everywhere is well moderated. And let me know in the chat, is that an issue for you or is that just a me thing? Because I really dislike going into like either a Facebook group or something like that where it is not moderated. Like I was, like just in this example, I joined a knitting Facebook group and every second post was a scam. Every second post was just dodgy. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Doug, for making that clickable. It was absolutely dodgy and bad and just awful, right? And so I DM'd the admins to ask if they realized. And then when I looked at the admin list, I realized the people putting the dodgy links were the admins, and it was just a straight up dodgy group. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so I left that group. I did think, and because they weren't moderating any posts, I was able to actually drop a post of like, this is a scam group. The moderators and admins are the ones dropping these dodgy links for the stuff that doesn't exist, that's just really bad. And it could actually be like doing things behind the scenes on your computer. So I would get out of this group. And then I just left. So I don't know what happened. I didn't go back in. But I found another couple of groups that were doing the same things. And what was frustrating about the groups is they had been long-standing, long-running groups where somebody had made someone an admin. And unfortunately on Facebook, if you make somebody an admin of a group, they can actually kick out other admins. And they kicked out group owners because they hadn't set their things up properly. And so they couldn't actually, they had no recourse. And so they actually just, their groups were hijacked is basically what it came out to be. But aside from that, there was also groups that are just not moderated. Like they're not been hijacked. They're just not moderated. And I understand moderation is a lot of work. And I get that. So you have to make that decision before you start a group. Will you be willing to moderate the group? And if you're not willing to moderate it, then you don't have the time to make a group. Or do you have somebody else who can moderate it for you? If not, you can't make a group. Communities do need moderation. I was a mod admin on a Facebook group for Blender. It was good for a while. Then for some reason, someone kicked me and some of the others down to just moderator. Yeah, look, it's one of those things. Is maybe somebody found out that admins could boot other admins, and they decided to protect their group or protect their status as the owner of the group, the owner admin of the group, and just dropped everyone down to moderators. But you can still do a lot of stuff as a moderator. But, it would have been nice if they had sent you a message first. Just say, hey, look, we've just learnt some stuff. We're just cleaning some things up for safety and security, but we're going to be removing all of the admins down to moderators. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. John says, I reported some fake news about celebrity deaths to Facebook, and Facebook was like, yeah, this is fine. I reported basically pornography to Facebook, and I got this is fine. Also from Twitter and also from Instagram. I got DM'd something pretty icky and I reported it to Instagram, and Instagram went, yeah, that's cool. I'm just like, so not cool. Yeah, there are some things that mods can do that the admins can do that mods can't. But yeah, it's one of those things. I'm still in the group, but I don't participate anymore. It's a big international group, people requesting to join almost all the time. Yeah, look, it's hard. It's really hard. And finding that middle ground. But also there is Leanne says, alternatively, I've been in lives where every person has a spanner. Yeah, look, I'm going to brush on this topic, right? Because some of you already know my feels on this. When you give somebody the blue wrench, if you spanner them up, they don't just have access to the comments in your live stream, right? You are giving them more access than you think. You think you're just rewarding them for being regular in your live? No, you're not. You're giving them powers over your channel. They can go in and delete comments from VODs. It is not just a live stream thing. Moderators can do stuff in other areas of your channel, in the comments area of your channel. So giving them and managing moderators. If you give a managing moderator access, like if you give someone managing moderator access, they can see everything that you've added to your blocked words list, right? And some of us add some personal information to our blocked words list so that we don't get doxxed, right? But if you've added a managing moderator, they also get to see that information. So you need to make sure that they're not just seeing what it is that they're adding, which I actually think it should be. I think it should just be a case of they get to see what they're adding, but they actually get to see the whole list. So when you are making moderators and managing moderators, you need to be aware of what access you're actually giving them. It's not just a reward for attendance. It's really not. Yeah, SMA Sky, that's right. They can delete comments in uploaded videos. They can delete comments in community posts, and they can post links in lives, etc. Yeah. And like posting the links in lives, that's great. That's like a feature. That's feature for me, because like I can go, Doug, please find a link that actually works for me. And Doug can add the link because he's a moderator. Leanne could add the link because she's a moderator. Andrew could add a link because he's a moderator. Justin, if he ever shows up, is a moderator as well. I say that. I know Justin watches and he sends me messages. I'm just teasing him. But yeah, you know, just having people with this, I don't want to say, I mean, it is a power. It is a power. Isn't it Mike who? Doug? Making somebody a moderator on your channel is giving them access. And making someone a managing moderator is giving them more access. Now, it's not as much as if you made them a channel manager or a channel editor or something like that. It's different. But people throw out this wrench like it's nothing. They throw it out like it's like a discount coupon. You know, it's not a reward. I mean, I personally feel fantastic when somebody makes me a moderator, because I feel like they trust me. And that's why I feel great about it. I'm like, this person trusts me with this. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. How about the people who claim abuse of power when deleting bad comments? So are you talking about the person who wrote the bad comment accusing the moderators of abuse of power because they removed their dodgy comment? I just ignore them and just go, you pick on my moderators and you're going to get booted. But that's because I trust my moderators to not just randomly delete people's comments intentionally. Like, you know, I have accidentally deleted a comment or 7 that didn't need deleting. I have booted people from a stream by accident because the stream moved while I was clicking, you know, like stuff happens. I'm talking intentional, you know, actions. Yeah, look, you know what? Usually the people that claim abuse of power are just upset that they got called out for their bad behavior. That's really what it boils down to. And depending on some groups are like, oh, you know, we don't delete anyone's comments because we believe in free speech. And like, that's cool. I'm not going to be hanging in your chats. So, yeah. Are you both the person who made the dodgy comment and sometimes the random people who noticed that the comment was deleted? Oh, yeah. Like, look, I've had people say, why was that comment deleted? Because it was against the chat rules. You know, like I've deleted comments in Nick's chat where someone was like, I didn't see the problem with that. And it's just like, it's because it's Nick wants all the comments to be PG-13. So it was just, the language was icky. So I just removed it. I don't hate the person. It's just the comment wasn't appropriate to leave there. So, and obviously when you're moderating, you have to moderate to the standard of the streamer. So you need to know what that streamer does and does not accept and does not consider okay. You need to understand these things. So if the streamer's like, why was that removed? And you're like, oh, because of such and such a reason. They're like, oh, no, I would have left it. It's like, oh, sorry about that. You learn. But if just randos in the chat are like upset about it, they can bite me, honestly. Let's be really honest here. Coffee is empty. We need tea. All right. Okay, so when it comes to the show notes and the run of show, is everybody clear on why we use them, when we use which, and all that? Because I just want to, I feel like we've gone totally off topic, and I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure that we're all good, that we're all clear. Sometimes I'll take screenshots of messages just in case the channel owner has questions. Yeah, absolutely. Cover yourself for sure. I would. I mean, they can actually click and see what the comment was. And thanks, Doug. Thanks. Very rarely on the radio show Mod 4, they've needed the screenshot for legal reasons. Wow. Okay. Gosh, I don't know if I want more information on that. Louis, I feel really bad that that's leaning on you. Let's just fix it. Little man is sleepy. He's a sleepy boy. He has actually really loved having everybody home, except for the battle for chairs in the lounge room. Yeah, the chat history. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's do deleted comments appear in the chat history, in the channel history up for the chat? I don't know. So channel activity, I mean, there's lots there, but I'm just going to remove someone's comment, like SMA Sky. I am just going to remove one of your comments, not because it's bad or anything like that, but just I want to see if it still appears in channel history, okay? So I'm just removing, Twitter basically allows, that now, the whole freedom of speech thing, I guess. Yeah. So I'm just going to remove it just because I want to see if it still appears in your channel history. Channel activity. There is deleted messages, timeouts, and hide. So I can see that I deleted a message. Can I see the message I deleted? I don't believe I can. It just has it. Let's have a look here. Okay. So I can view the deleted message. Okay, that's cool. Good to know. You need to go into the show. So I had to click the arrow across to go into the, I'm just checking what's in the browser here because I'll just screen share it. Because I'm on the wrong screen, but I'm going to screen share it anyway. All right. I need to move my face, move the dog. Alrighty. So over here on the right, light speed. Over here on the right, look what I can do is I can cover up some of this other stuff with my face and with my dog. There we go. Like double checking that you can't see anything. There we go. GIFs are hiding stuff. Thank you, GIFs. All right, let me go back over here. Okay, let me just see if I can go pro mouse so I can, if I can pro mouse. There we go. And then there we go. Yep, you can see. All right. So what you need to do, if you're a mod or something like that, you can choose next to their name, channel activity, and then you go to for me it was this show. What sort of pre-show prep do you do, right? So you can click that, and then you can see every comment that person has made in that stream, and then you can still view the deleted message. So you can always, as a mod, you can always go back to screenshot that as well. So if you missed the screenshot during the stream, you can go back and screenshot that right there as well. So there you go. We learned something together. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to find the, because here it shows that there's a deleted message. In the past year, I've only had to delete one of SMA Sky's messages, and it was to run this test. So you can see that deleted message. It'd be nice if you could specify, like, see which stream that was deleted from. Like, I happen to know it was the latest one, but it, you know, I would have had to go in and find it for each one. And as we know, SMA Sky is a very active member of our community, so lots of comments, which I love, by the way. Thank you. So, yeah, we learnt a new thing. Bring Louis back over to the other. Oops. Oh, come on. There we go. Have to move the buy me a coffee. Alrighty. Twitch does show that, and also mods can add a comment for other mods to can see, but the viewer can't see. Twitch has got better moderation tools. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to straight up. Twitch has got some better moderation tools. Like, I don't even know what to say. I don't know why YouTube can't learn from some of Twitch's moderation tools. And I've been asked on multiple occasions now to make suggestions for moderation tools, and I don't see any changes happening. The managing moderator stuff was nice, except you can only use it on a mobile, which I don't mod on a mobile because you can't tag people from a mobile. Anyway, grumpy about this. Yeah, see? And of course, the tag, the pop-up. Yep. See, you agree with me. 2025, the year of the mod. Oh, please, let us get some great tools. Oh, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? And, you know, like having a back chat for moderators, I think is so important, but we can't have it on YouTube. So we have to set it up externally. You know, like there's just, it frustrates me. Bigger band hammer for Chantelle. Yeah, bring it. SMA Sky says, I do mod on mobile all the time, but it's a pain to tag people, but I do it. It takes longer though. Yeah, and if you're in like a fast moving chat, you don't have the time to like type out someone's entire username. Like, you just don't. I will jump in and you know, if I'm in bed already or something, I'll have my phone and I'll chat in chats and I'll, you know, do some minor moderation. But if I've got to do any serious moderation, I need a laptop minimum. So not even my iPad will do it. Like, and my iPad has a keyboard, right? Like, I still can't tag even on my, like, you know, iPad has a keyboard. Like, what did I just show there? That's all right. I just showed a tweet that Home Rapid Repair liked a tweet. So that's cool. YouTube has a chat filter now for super chats and such. They could add a mod channel. Oh my gosh, they could. They totally could. Oh dear. They could, but like the reality is, right? And I understand this, but it still ticks me off. Is there's actually not that many moderators on YouTube, really, in the scheme of things. There's just not that many moderators on YouTube. And if they've got to choose time for engineers for moderation versus creation, they're going to put it into creation. You know, there's way more creators, so many more creators than there are moderators. And I get that, but I think if they had better moderation tools, those of us that do moderate could make life easier. It could be simpler. And yeah, Marilyn M, I have a messenger group for my Fiberific moderators. I don't have one for this channel. When I'm moderating for other people's channels, there's different setups, but it has to be like a creator by creator has to set it up themselves. They have to make the decision. And I love creators that make the effort to actually understand that their moderators do need to talk to each other as well. And sometimes just to get feedback, be like, hey, you know, this comment, like, is it okay? Like, am I because sometimes we read into things that don't exist. Like, Doug and I have some really funny interactions where I'm just like, I want to squish this person. Doug's like, that what they said is fine. I'm like, no, it's not. And he's like, it's totally fine. And then the context is different and it's totally fine. And I'm just like, so yeah, it's, and so having somebody else in the same chat at the same time and being able to interact with them live, I think is super important for good moderation, especially in a large group, you know? And even if like not all the moderators are there right now, if not all the moderators are there, it means that they can still see during last week's chat, we had an issue with this person. So if they didn't get booted from the channel, which sometimes that's not necessary, but if they didn't get booted from the channel, then you can keep an eye on it again this week. And if they're still being toads, then they can get booted. So yeah, I don't know. All right, Doug, I've got like one sip of coffee left. Sorry, I thought I heard my front door. One of the radio shows I'm mod for, we have a fan Discord. There's a story behind that I won't go into, but we have a channel there for YouTube and Twitch mods. Yeah, absolutely. We've had Discord groups for mods, messenger groups. They can all work well. Absolutely. Absolutely. I clicked on that. It went green, but it didn't bring it up. There we go. They can all work well. And I think if you are a creator and you have moderators, you should create a space for the moderators. I would make sure that in that space is somewhere for them to look at a list of any links that you like to share. If you are using like Stream Ninja, a list of the list of commands. So all the links need to be handy for them. And you know, just keep them updated, keep them informed. If you're not going to go live and you know it, let them know as soon as possible. You know, if you are going to have like an impromptu live, let them know. Like, I think letting your moderators know is nearly as important as, it's not quite as important, like, but I think letting your moderators know is nearly as important as letting the audience know you're going to go live. And yeah, it's just, you just need to keep them informed, keep them updated, let them know what's going on somehow. Marilyn's asking, what about the ones that have multiple accounts and keep changing, as in problem chatter members? Keep booting them out. For me, if somebody comes back with multiple accounts, like unless like I have a couple of people that I know have multiple channels and may have accidentally logged in with the wrong one and then switched, that's a different story. But if you remove someone and then they come straight back with a new account and they keep chatting and you remove them again, just keep removing them and report them to YouTube as well. So when in YouTube, you can actually just, when you click, you can remove, you can hide, but you can also report. So report them as well. So then YouTube deals with them too. So, but yeah, like, so I know like Doug's got multiple channels and he may accidentally jump in here with his mobile channel or something like that instead of this. I'm not going to boot him for that, right? But if, so rando account 767 jumps in and is, you know, just being problematic, and then, you know, you mute them, so you time them out or something, but then somebody else jumps in with like second random account. Why did you block me? You know, why did you mute me? Blah, 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 blah. Just ban them. Oh yeah, I can do this all day. Yeah, and that's how I see it as well. We can do this all day, like block, 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 block. Just keep doing it. Block, block, block. Eventually they'll get bored. SMA Sky says it is just much easier just to ban repeated trolls. It takes 2 taps. And then you can also turn on subscriber only mode. Absolutely, you can, for sure. Subscriber only mode, I think there's pros and cons to it, right? Like, obviously, there's pros and cons to it. It makes that anyone who finds your chat can't just jump into the chat. They need to have been subscribers for the specified number of minutes, right? So it's at least 1 minute. And you get to choose that when you're setting up your subscriber only mode, how many minutes they have to be a subscriber before they can chat. The upside is less chance of trolls. The downside is if you were live streaming to bring in a broader audience, it may turn some people off. It may also make some people like, oh yeah, I want to join this because they're looking after us. So you've got to weigh it up. But sometimes it's absolutely great to jump in. If you're being hit by trolls, it's great to jump into subscriber only mode, even temporarily, just till they go away. Livestream Consultant says, to wrap this into show notes, add what to do with problem chatters in the show notes for your mods. I don't give my mods the show notes. So I have a document. It's more just links and stuff, but I do put in there any explanations as well. I have chat rules, and basically I talk with my moderators. I know not everybody does, but yeah. And Leanne says, I do love our Fiberific cheat sheets and chat area. So I've got somewhere set up for them. So I can get a message during a live stream from the moderators going, hey, what do we do about this person? And I can respond instantly. I know not everybody does that. I know not everybody has a way to interact with their mods while they're live either. I do find that a little bit frustrating, especially in a busy chat when you're trying to let them know something important that they need to know. I also understand why they don't. Like, I get that, but I think there needs to be like some sort of way for a moderator to get a message to the streamer. If your mic's out and you're not watching the chat, you could be chatting for 10 minutes before somebody's able to contact you, or before you change screen back and you look at the chat and it's just like, you're muted, or your mic's not working or whatever. Having the ability for a moderator to contact you during your live stream, I think is pretty important. And maybe even if it's just one or two of your trusted mods or your managing mods, if they can do that, I think that's a really important thing to do. It just depends on, like, if your chat's not super busy and your chat's always open, having it, like, if your mods just tag you, you can see it bright yellow up the stream. But there's a lot of people who, especially StreamYard users, who don't actually open YouTube. So it's just different. Doug says, I watch a lot of streams that are always subscriber mode only to chat. They also have mods, but it does keep it mostly clean. Yeah. It's definitely an interesting option. Amazing Your Destination says, I had a streamer say they went to subscribe only mode because they wanted more subscribers. I left as I felt pressured and still wasn't sure if I wanted to be a subscriber. Yeah, look, and this is the thing, it's like double, like, you've got to make the decision. And for them to actually come out and go, hey, we're making it subscriber only, so, because we want more subscribers. I don't know. I mean, they're being honest. Like, at least they know their reason and they're sharing that. They're being honest. But yeah, if you don't know if you want to be a subscriber or not yet, that does make it trickier. Yeah, Doug says, otherwise we have to tag in the chat. And if the chat is quite active, they may miss it as well. So it's a grey area, and it's going to come down to the individual streamers and moderator dynamic. And there's not a one size fits all. There's really not. Some people cannot deal with any distractions. Technically, I'm probably that person, but if there's an issue, I also want to be notified. I want to know that there's a problem. I don't want to find out 10 minutes down the track that I had no audio, or that the camera was off, or that I wasn't screen sharing when I thought I was screen sharing. I don't want that. I want to be informed instantly. So yeah. SMA Sky said, we've had people that thought they were subscribed but found out they weren't that when I went onto sub-only mode due to spam. I mean, that happens too. Sometimes people, because like in this day and age with YouTube, you don't have to be subscribed to a channel to watch the content anymore and to find the content and to have the content delivered to you the second you open your phone. You don't have to be a subscriber anymore. And so the need for the viewers to be subscribers has been reduced. It used to be a case years ago that if you were not subscribed to a channel, good luck finding out any more videos about that channel, right? It used to be like you watch older videos and be like, subscribe to the channel so you see our content, because that was how it was. If you weren't subscribed, it could be months before you see anything come up in a feed, in a homepage or something, especially if they're a smaller channel and they weren't being put onto the what was it? Was it homepage back then? The recommendation page? Yeah, whatever. It could be an issue. Whereas now that's not the case. YouTube has got so many other ways to link you to a channel and to share that content that the need for the subscription is no longer there from the viewer's side. From the creator side, we still need subscribers for various reasons, especially when you're a small growing channel. Like right now, this channel's at what, 530, 531? Anyway, over 500 subscribers, right? But I'm not at 1,000, which means I'm locked out of tools. Like I cannot redirect my stream to other streamers. So because I don't have 1,000. So I've got a channel in good standing. I've got no strikes. I've got no copyright. I've got nothing, no issues on my channel. But because I don't have that arbitrary sub number, I don't have access to tools, right? And then there's the, as you go along, like right now, while I don't have access because of my location, but YouTube shopping is another option I don't have. I don't have access to channel memberships or anything like that. That is due to watch time rather than subscribers, because I've hit that subscriber goal of 500. But if I hadn't hit 500 yet, yes, that's another thing I'm locked out of because of a subscriber number. So saying subscribers is a vanity metric is true once you get past a certain point, right? But while YouTube lock access to tools away behind subscriber numbers, it is not a vanity metric. So once you hit I think it's about 15,000 subscribers, I don't think there's much after that locks you out of actual specific tools. So 100,000 will get you, or possibly, it's not guaranteed, but will possibly get you the grey verified box. But that's not technically a tool, right? That's not something that can make or break anything. But there are, and there's less now. Like community tab used to be locked behind a subscriber number. It's not anymore, which I think is great. So when they had stories, were they called stories? Yes, stories. They were locked behind 10,000 subscribers. You couldn't put in the stories unless you had 10,000 subscribers. So whereas like Instagram and Facebook, like you have an account, you can make a story, like it's chill. Whereas like YouTube's like, nope, no stories for you because you're under 10,000 subscribers. Whereas now community tab, we can technically do like a story workaround where we can make our post expire. If that's what we want to do. So yeah, it's obviously it's a sore point. it's a sore point for me. Locking things behind, subscriber numbers, because both of my channels are locked from things because of subscriber numbers. Fiberifics up over 6,000, nearly 7,000 subscribers, and there's still things, so yeah. Let me know, is there a tool that you don't have access to aside from monetization? Is there a tool or something you don't have access to because of subscriber numbers that you wish you could have? For me, I want to be able to redirect my live streams. I'd love that. I'd love to be able to redirect my live streams. But yeah, let me know. Is there something that you can't access because of subscriber number? And I shall have beverage because it is beverage time. So yeah, and don't be ashamed to ask for the subscribe. Like if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, consider it. But not everybody is going to be interested, and so you can't be offended or take offense or in any way base any personal, you know, like no well-being or anything like that. You can't put any weight on your subscriber goal. You can't take that on board as being like, I am less worthy because of this subscriber number. And look, I'm the person who did that for a long time. Like, no, my channel's so small that, no, and I would say no to things because I was too small. I was thinking too small, and it was a mental thing. And this is over on Fiberific as well. And, just like, no. And I wouldn't want to tell people how many subscribers I've got. Like, I'd go to events. Oh, how many subscribers on your channel? I'd actually specifically avoid events where I knew that was going to be like a question that people asked. Because, and one thing I will say now is that question doesn't get asked anywhere near as much as it used to. But yeah, it's very, very frustrating. So I'm going to assume, unless something dramatic has happened and my stream has stopped, I'm going to assume that no one feels like they're being kept away from any tools or features because of their subscriber counts. Is that right? Is it just me? It's just me? Okay. I can deal with it if it's just me. Now, I do need to turn off Pro Mouse because it's bugging me having my big circle around my mouse. Doug says to hydrate. I will hydrate, Doug. Thanks. Good to know that the stream is still working, though. Sometimes you're sort of looking around and you're like, it seems like it's still going, but there's no activity happening. Amazing Yacht Destination says, there's a lot of tools that I want, but I understood. Yeah. Yeah. And look, and I understand why YouTube has to gate things. Like, I get it because I was around for Adpocalypse and I was around for some things. I understand why they decided to do what they did because it's not just creators that they have to look after, it's viewers and advertisers. They have to look after all three. Now, without creators, there's nothing, right? But also without viewers, there's nothing. And without advertisers, there's no money, which means there's no servers. And if there's no money and there's no servers, there's no YouTube, right? So it's a balancing act, and YouTube have to be the one to balance it amongst all three. And I get that, I do. But there are some things where I'm just like, could they not make that? Like, you have to have advanced features enabled and have a channel in good standing. Could that not be good enough? I don't know. Doug says, I would like access to YouTube affiliates, but that's a country thing. Yeah, it is a country thing. Your channel, like, is it 10K subs? I think that, so you have to be, I think in America, is it USA only? I think you have to be in the USA. It might be USA and Brazil or something. There's like maybe 2 countries, but USA, and you have to have a channel over a certain number of subs. So I think you've already got your subs. Because I think it was 15K, it was 20K for a while, then dropped down to 15. I think it dropped down to 10. I don't know. But yeah, we're definitely not in the right location either. And when they're testing stuff, I get that they can't test it worldwide. It makes no sense to. They need to test it, make sure it's good, and then roll it out. It's a big task having that affiliates thing, and there'd be different laws for different countries, and yeah, I can see the headache. I can see the headache and I understand it, but some things aren't that bad. Like, why can't we have the @ for mobile modding? Like, why can't we tag? Like, seriously. In saying that, I know nothing about coding, so it could be really hard. It could be like this total nightmare that's just something else, but I don't understand why it would be. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we can tag nowhere. We just can't tag on mobile devices. So, but we can tag on mobile if we go into desktop mode. So, I don't know. on those very vague points of I don't know, and there's a lot of them, I'm going to call it for today. I've got some work to do. And I've got to get some other stuff done. I've got to go and ship some orders. I've got to go and do some grocery shoppings. But yeah, it is definitely amazing your destinations. I like that. I like that idea. It is 10K subs. Doug checked it. Good. Excellent. But yeah, just having these chats with you guys on Monday mornings is a really fantastic start to my week. I get that dopamine hit of like, tick, I did something, woot. And so it starts off my week with the right energy. So hopefully you guys get to start your week off with the right energy. I know for some of you it's still Sunday, so I hope your Monday gets to kick off fantastically. And those of you that it is Monday for, I'm hoping that this helps you kick your Monday off, just like it helps me to kick mine off. Hope you all have a fantastic week and a happy new year, and I'll catch you next time. Bye now. Oh no, where's my end screen? I wasn't ready. I didn't get myself ready. That's hilarious. And this is why we have a run of show.